Hi, I'm Cinnamon Rel, the artist for Mean Spirit, and today I'm going to talk about what I learned from the first year of making a webcomic, since it's almost the 1-year anniversary of publishing Mean Spirit. The first thing I learned is to set a fake deadline and account for taking days off too, so I won't be late if I have problems or if something unexpected comes up. Then I figure out how many steps I should aim to finish it in a day by multiplying how many panels I want the update to be with the steps it takes to finish it, and then dividing it by how many days I aim to finish the update by. I think this works for me because sometimes I just want to sketch, and other days I prefer coloring. So I break it down into 4 steps for each panel: sketching, inking, coloring, and background. I also do a mix of simple and complex panels each day to keep it interesting and to avoid burnout. This isn't something I figured out just by making the comic, but from a podcast by NDJ Pizza called Do Not Miss These 3 Essential Things to Help Potential Fans Find You, and it's the 23rd episode of the Creative Pep Talk podcast. And in that episode, he mentioned that people say that they hate it when trailers spoil the movie, but more people actually see movies where the trailer shows what the whole movie is about. So don't be too worried about spoiling your comic. I actually thought I couldn't share some of my favorite panels because they were too spoilery, but then I noticed that I had more readers when I didn't care too much about that. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about more comic drawing specific stuff. So I noticed for me personally that I usually get better panel compositions when I draw my thumbnails like a 5-year-old. Another thing I learned is that even if you're not the best artist, if your style is unique, people will still appreciate it. I actually thought that Webtoon people wouldn't like my art style because my art style is kind of messy and simple, while most Webtoons have very clean and detailed art. But it turns out people said good things about my art style. Another thing I learned is to make at least one fully rendered drawing of your character before you draw their first appearance, so I can improve the design without having to redraw entire panels. Sometimes things don't look as good as on paper as it did in my head, or that it's harder to draw than I thought, or that it doesn't match the other elements of the design. For the raccoon girl that first appeared in Hail Light Burgers, I assumed that a mask would be easier to draw than makeup for some reason, but I ended up liking drawing the makeup way more anyways. If I finished a full color drawing first, then I would realize that earlier. This is the comic panel I was working on. I did pink tank so it looks more like it was made by an evil gamer girl.